All right. I got to chime in on this. It's driving me crazy. I've been watching, the thing going on about the gun control in the Florida shooting, the most recent one. And first, I want to start off by saying to anybody who's lost a loved one in one of these alleged mass shootings, or random shootings at schools and movie theaters and so on and so forth, or in any kind of tragedy related to this scope, the nature of this scope, my heart deeply goes out to you. I am deeply saddened by the events. I wish my heart and my love goes out to you and your family, and I wish you a quick healing process. And I hope that we are taking the measures to prevent tragedies like these from happening in the future. Now, with that said, there are a plethora of reasons why I personally don't believe that these shootings are necessarily happening as much as I think that they are staged events, propaganda carried out by the powers that be, and implemented by using civil servants or civil actors to carry out agendas. For instance, I noticed that every one of these mass shootings that have been increasingly happening over the past few years, after every one of them, there is a huge, push in the media and in the public for gun reform, gun control, disarmament of citizens, selling and buying and purchasing automatic weapons and so on and so forth. And I can't tell you how dangerous it is for us to buy into that propaganda. First of all, the United States of America is pretty much the only Western civilization that has citizens who are armed. If you look at France and England and other Western civilized nations, their citizens don't have arms. They don't have the right to bear arms, and they don't have arms. And I'm not saying that no German citizen and no French citizen has a gun. I'm saying that more often than not, the average citizen in those other Western civilized nations do not carry firearms, do not have hunting rifles and handguns and so on and so forth like Americans do. We have that, and we are allowed to have that because our forefathers in the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, it's got to be pretty important if it's the number 2 amendment, the Second Amendment, gives us the right to bear arms, and that is to protect ourselves against threats both foreign and domestic. And I feel that in the United States of America, because of the nature of the world and the direction that things are going, and the direction that our government is taking us, we're going to be running into some problems. There's going to be some heavy conflict, as there is already, between what the people want and what the government wants. And the government, like they have been doing, is going to continue to exercise their muscle and authority and push in their agendas like they have continued to do thus far. And eventually, us, the public, is going to get upset at that, and we're going to no longer be able to just peacefully demonstrate because it's not going to be doing anything. So then, that's when we're going to take up arms. Now, it could be in a defense of the government doing some, or the powers that be doing some kind of attack, against American citizens, or it could be us getting tired of our demands not being heard, and the laws and legislation that we want to be passed is not going through, and we're going to start saying, okay, if we're not going to make these things go through like we're voting, then we're going to make them go through. I don't know. It could be either way. Either circumstance, I believe it would be both warranted and okay for us to do so. Now, with that said, I'm going to just stick on gun control for a second and laws regarding the such. So, right now, there is a plethora of gun laws in this country. State, federal, county, whatever. The laws that prohibit the use, the purchases, buying, selling, of firearms, illegal firearms, or automatic weapons and all that. Those laws are already in place. They've been in place for a long time, and the list of laws is actually growing. Now, with that said, the people that are illegally obtaining, buying, selling, and using illegal firearms, those people are still doing so right now. They're still obtaining illegal firearms, using them, buying, selling them, so on and so forth. And we have gun laws in place. There's gun laws already in place right now. So what are those gun laws actually doing if the people are still illegally buying, selling, using, and obtaining firearms illegally? Those gun laws are really not doing anything. So adding more gun laws and gun reform is not going to do anything. It's really a waste of taxpayers' money, time, and it's an insult to our intelligence, because we all know that the people that are illegally buying and selling and using firearms, regardless of what laws in place, you can make a million more laws until you're blue in the face, they are still going to illegally buy, sell, use illegal firearms. The people who are doing that illegally now are going to still be the ones doing it in the future, no matter what gun laws you make. So you're wasting our time. You're wasting our time. Even furthermore, the only thing that adding new gun laws and reforming gun control gun control reform and all that, the only thing that really accomplishes is it makes it more difficult for the people who are legally trying to obtain firearms and their licenses. It makes it more difficult for them to do so, because you're going to have a more stringent, strenuous background check, more extensive background check and more extensive psychiatric evaluation, and so on and so forth. So all that does is makes it more difficult for the people who are trying to legally obtain firearms to actually do so. And in the land of the free, the home of the brave, with our right to bear arms, why would you be doing things to make it more difficult for Americans to have to bear arms? You should be making it easier. So that ties into what I'm saying about there being a ploy to disarm Americans. I mean, just based on what I just said alone, the only thing that gun reform will do is make it more difficult for people legally trying to obtain firearms to do so. Why would you want to do that? If your goal is, if the goal is to satisfy the American citizen, make sure that our rights and our desires and our wants are adhered to. So you wouldn't be trying to pass legislation that would make it more difficult for our rights to be carried out, like any law that would go against the right to bear arms. So really, I mean, I really shouldn't have to say any much more than that. Don't fall for the propaganda. They're trying to take our guns. Gun laws, gun reform does absolutely nothing. It's pointless, because the people that are illegally obtaining firearms and buying and selling them are still going to do that regardless of what laws we pass. And the people who are trying to legally obtain them are going to have a more difficult time doing so if we follow through with gun reform. So why not we just leave it as it is? Let's get better security at our schools and make sure our kids are safe. Don't blame it on guns, because it doesn't matter whether the automatic assault rifle was legally obtained or illegally obtained or whatever. It could have been a shotgun. It could have been any kind of gun. It could have been a handgun. The problem is that if this is happening, that people are dying and kids are dying. I don't care if it's one kid or 30 kids. It's all the same to me. So if you're telling me that, okay, yeah, we're going to ban automatic weapons, and so that way people can't obtain them and go shoot 30 people. They're only going to be able to get a gun, and maybe they'll only kill 5 people or 10 people. That's not good enough for me, okay? It's none. No people being killed is what my concern is. And unless you can make some kind of law that can ensure that or promote that, then any law that you are making is redundant, ridiculous, pointless, a waste of money, waste of time, so on and so forth. Think about it. It's not rocket science.